Humans once wielded formidable magical power, but with over 7 billion of us on the planet now, mana has spread far too thinly to have any effect. When hostile aliens reduces humanity to a mere fraction, the survivors discover an old power has begun to reawaken once again. First story by J. Ray Wang. I wouldn't call it a war. Extermination, maybe. Though I'd more aptly describe it as a harvest. By the time they reached our world and penetrated the stratosphere, people sought them out in droves to be harvested. Of course, they knew what that actually meant. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been so eager. 10 years before the angels descended from the sky, they had already sent what some referred to as divine retribution. A virus. Though this virus in particular only targeted women. It spread faster than a wildfire and had a 100% mortality rate. Worse yet, it was completely undetectable. In our desperation, we became animals. We locked our wives, daughters, and mothers deep underground under the constant shine of UV radiation, and still they got infected. Within 5 years, the last woman had died, leaving the rest of humanity to slowly die with her. By the time they arrived, we welcomed them with open arms into every one of our major cities. Most bowed their heads and practically begged to be killed. Some fought against them. These were the ones that still remembered the pain of watching their daughters, wives, and mothers die. They couldn't hope to survive, but at least they could enact their own version of divine retribution. Looking back at it now, I know that the angels planned for them. They wanted us to retaliate. Otherwise, where would be the fun? Men charged at them by the millions. Some to die, some to kill. To the angels, it was all the same. Until we killed the first one. Back when I used to write, I always made sure to name my hero something memorable. If not a strange name, then certainly a strange title. Evan the Incorruptible, Matthew the Harbinger. But in real life, heroes rarely have titles. Some don't even have names. That was the case for humanity's last hero, because nobody knew who he was. We had only stories. The stories ranged from fantastical to downright fiction, but they always ended the same. We had killed one. The angels must have been as skeptical as we were, because they refused to change their tactics. They kept all our major cities and welcomed anyone to try and take it back. By the 5th dead angel, they learned of their miscalculation. Soon, we all learned of it as well. Human beings shared mana, and with it, we could do wondrous or terrible things. Magic no longer belonged to the realm of fiction. The elements bent to our will. Lightning struck where we pointed. Tornadoes formed where we stood. The ground swallowed up entire cities as we willed it. Suddenly, men stopped volunteering to be harvested. With their newfound power, they decided to fight back, even if victory had already been stolen from us. They had turned us into animals, and then backed us into a corner. Foolish. And that was good enough for us. Looking back, I wonder if we were as foolish as the angels. We who were content with dying in our little blazes of glory, having accomplished nothing but thinning their ranks by just a bit. It was selfish. But what is there to expect from men who had nothing else to live for? None of us had the vision you had. The vision you have. Tyler put the pen down, staring at the word you. He wondered if his letter would ever find its way to this certain you. While humanity had become animals, one man had gone even further. He had been called a monster by both angel and man. Nobody knew which side he fought for, only that he killed both indiscriminately. If Tyler were to write his story, he wouldn't know whether to make this man the villain or the hero. Oh, how he wished he could have written this story. But the only way this story continued was if he died. Beside his letter and pen, sitting at the edge of his wooden table, was a silver revolver. The single light bulb above him glinted off its barrel. A small grin spread across Tyler's face. He grabbed the gun, its metal like ice, and pressed it to his temple. Enough humans had died where he could stop the bullet with only his thoughts. The bullet couldn't even hurt him unless he wanted it to. But he did. For the sake of humanity, he needed the bullet to kill him. With his free hand, he picked the pen back up. As the last storyteller on Earth, I bestow you the title of Reaper, a monster, a villain, our last hero. Go forth, Reaper, my death as an offering. With my passing, there will be only 4 humans left. I've already contacted 2 of them, and they will die with me. The last, I'm sure you will easily find, as your powers will have increased 2-fold. By then, your mind will stretch the globe, perhaps even the stars. And when you become the last human alive, I cannot even fathom how powerful you will be. Show our angels how fragile they are in the face of a god. Tyler pulled the trigger. They fall screaming, choking, burning. The internet's bad in the house, so me and my brother and sisters hunker on the steps of the chicken coop to see it. Together we watch the end of the world. Our breath clouds and storms around us, but we don't notice the cold. Our hearts and bones are lead. My siblings don't make a sound. I look between the 3 of them and the black, faultless sky. I wonder if the afterlife looks like night, or if it just looks like nothing. I wonder if I'll find out soon. Somewhere far away, death shrieks scarlet overhead. Ships with roving eyes swarm the sky like an army of locusts. Bodies, whole and unwhole, strewn out one atop the other, abandoned where they fell. Entire skyscrapers collapse like dominoes. News anchors weep openly, if they're on the air at all. My sister flicks through live streams restlessly, unable to pick which tragedy to behold. We crowd my oldest sister's phone, barely able to watch, yet unable to look away. She stops at the live press conference from the president. His voice is grave and hollow. He speaks to us from a dark room in some bunker somewhere. He says, "At this point, we have little hope. We will defend ourselves to the end. But tonight, please, stay inside. Stay with your loved ones." My brother Aaron has his head between his knees. When we were kids, he ran off screaming after the cougar that took his puppy. Aaron didn't catch it. I never believed that fear was an emotion he had. "Turn that garbage off," he gasps. "Ignoring the aliens invading our frickin' planet won't make them go away." Maya snaps, but she switches to Facebook. Not that any of her friends would have time to post, "Oh help, I'm dying," anyway. Out here, under the unblinking stars, surrounded by a chorus of crickets and coyotes, I can't fathom what waits out there. "Someone has to tell Papa," Jackie murmurs. She's my twin, but you can't tell. People always seem disappointed that there's such thing as non-identical twin sisters. "You'll just scare him." Maya, the oldest, has always been the unofficial boss of all of us. She made it official when Dad started mistaking her for our mother and trying to scramble uncracked eggs. "He deserves to know," she insists. "If They come here, Maya says through her teeth. We're not getting a panicked old man into the truck without hurting someone, all right? Her words hang frozen for a moment. Do you think they'll come out here? I whisper. I'm the youngest by 8 minutes, and I am good at the part. No, says Jackie, quickly. We're in the middle of nowhere. Aaron pulls his beanie over his eyes. I wouldn't rule it out, Jack. Maya gasps into her fingers. Oh God, they're in Spokane. Bile shoots up my throat. That's barely 100 miles from here. Not even a particularly large city. I wonder if they're hunting us down one by one, like rabbits. Crap, is that Maddie's? Aaron snatches the phone from her hands. I lean over his shoulder to see. My sister's friend has her phone lens pressed to the window of her dorm room. In the background, she speaks in rapid, panicked whispers with her roommate. Outside her window, mortars plummet in blue and yellow streaks, big as bowling balls. I hear her cry, Are they bombing us? As the first one connects. It blooms soundlessly, a pale yellow locust, and then the power of it explodes outward. It takes Maddie maybe 6 seconds to die. She has enough time to say, I need to call my mom, as the wall of smoke and debris rushes towards her, like a sulfurous tsunami. The window shatters. The video goes black. I don't even realize what I've seen until Maya starts bawling into her hands. A strange fire tingles in my palms, my belly. I feel the urge to move, to rise and fight. We have to do something, I say. Aaron looks at me like I'm an idiot. Like what? My fingers dance against the leg of my jeans. I know I should be scared as all heck, but something in me is restless, hungry for something very old and long forgotten. I stand up and face my siblings. I look them over carefully, in case this is the last time I see them. We will not just watch. I point at the house. We won't just let them kill everything and everyone and just stand here and watch. Just south of us, down beyond the height of the mountain, the sky turns red with fire. Tears stream down my brother's cheek. I can't believe this is freaking it. I shake my head, insistently, insanely. I don't know why, but I can't accept that this is it. That this is truly how we fall. I ball my fists up at my sides. A furious heat snaps at the bars of my ribs, yearning to set on those who dared attack our home of all places, our dad of all people. I let the hate and heat fill me. Flame chases down my forearm, over my knuckles, the white hot of anger. My fist is a coal, and my flesh is carved from the mountain, and I will destroy anything that threatens the ones I love. Avis? My brother says, oddly calm. Why is your hand glowing? I look at my palm and grin. The fire finds my belly now. The chaos delights some new awoken part of me that I had never known I possessed. It's like catching my reflection in an angle that I've never seen before. I am myself, but different. I think. I laugh. Despite the clouds of smoke rising from town, it rises out of me like a bird. I have never felt smaller or stronger. I think I did it on purpose. Maya drives me because she won't let me leave by myself. Aaron stays back with Dad, probably to watch DVR game shows with him and pretend everything is fine. Jackie lies in the back seat and lets out this low, constant groan of pure horror, until Maya shrieks at her to shut up. The truck flies down the mountain, toward the billowing columns of ash and fire. I stare at my palms, which well with blue fire like water. It licks down my hands and pools on the floor mat, where it vanishes like steam. Can you put that out or something? It's freaky. I don't know if I can get it back, I say truthfully. I don't even know why it's happening. Stupid alien radiation, my sister mutters under her breath, like she has any real clue what's going on. That's the only thing that makes sense. Maya takes the corner by the Hendersons' farm too fast. The tires skid and shriek, but just manage to cling onto the road. We keep going. I think we have to stop hoping for things to make sense, I murmur. We're silent for the rest of the drive down the mountain. The burning thing in me paces like a fox. I want to feed it flesh and bone. If the aliens are even like us. If they're just a little fire of a soul trapped in a suit of meat. But the more we drive, the stronger I feel. The hotter the fire in me. When we make it to the base of the mountain, a row of fire trucks from the reservation streaks past us on the freeway, sirens blaring. I want to tell them to turn around, that they should be getting people out who still have time to run, not throwing themselves into the chaos like a sacrifice, like we're going to do. Beyond the lake, the city is flames. The lakeside resort burns, a stalwart skeleton. Even the boats are burning. Rotten, orange clouds choke the sky. Ships weave in and out of the gloom, dropping bright, streaking bombs that fall glittering like jewels. For a moment, we just sit, truck running, staring. They won't find us at home, Jackie says. There won't be a home anymore if they burn the frickin' forest down. I scowl out the windshield. It's okay. I can walk from here. Maya shakes her head. It's 5 miles at least, Ave. It's a good night for a walk. My sister presses her forehead against the steering wheel and breathes hard through her nose. Then she turns on her turn signal. That's what kind of person my sister Maya is. She uses her turn signal even during intergalactic genocide and heads after the fire trucks, toward town. I love you, she says without looking at me. But I'm gonna be real pissed if you get us killed.